Hi peeps, what's going on? Arclay84 here, and as I mentioned from a video posted last week, the questions have been submitted, and it is time for our brand new Q&A session. So, let's see what questions we have for today. It seems not as many people posted this time as I was kind of used to seeing, so this might be a rather bit of a quick one. Let's start from the bottom and go up, starting with the comments on from the past video. So with that, our first question comes from Zero Tails Triple X. Oh, I know this kid. That's the Joker the Hedgehog. Your question is, my thoughts on the two Kickstarter projects, Keiji Inufune's Mighty Number 9 and Way Forward Shantae Half Genie Hero. Okay, to answer the first bit of the question, Joker, Mighty Number 9. Since I've been a long-time Mega Man fan, I've always enjoyed those games. And yeah, when I first saw news of Mighty Number 9, I gotta admit, I was rather excited. And you know, Keiji Inafune taking it upon himself to try to keep, well, at least the spirit of Mega Man as he claims alive, as he passes it on to its the next generation, that is Mighty Number 9. I haven't seen any video footage yet. I don't think there is any, but just the screenshots. And I've seen some fan artwork already, whether it be throughout DeviantArt, Facebook, and such like that. And with how much it's already been funded, even you know, so much as meeting the minimal goal amount of 900,000 within what, not even 24 hours. And here it is now, as I make this, like, it's already broken 2,200,000, which I believe that gets us console versions of this game on the 360, Wii U, and PS3. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. It looks really interesting. So yeah, definitely. Definitely, if I wasn't so bad on money right now, I would have actually contributed something toward the game as well. But yeah, definitely, he's got my full support. KG won't let us down. He's the man on this. He listens to his fans. He knows what's up. Ever since he left Capcom. Wow. Okay, that's a whole nother story. I'm not going to go into that right now. As for the other part of the question, Shantae Half Genie Hero. I've played a little bit of the original Shantae, the one they had for the Game Boy Color. I haven't played the DSi version yet. I think that was, what was it, Risky Boost Revenge? I want to play that. Matter of fact, I need to go back and play the first one again. I've started playing some of it, and then I kind of slowed down for a while, and I didn't touch it since. I need to go back to it, but it looks a lot of fun. I think it's pretty cool. And with this new game that's in the works, I think it's for the 3DS. Yeah. So, yeah. Half Genie Hero. Very interested, very intrigued, and if it came out, if I had the chance, I would definitely play it. Absolutely. So, yeah. Thank you for your question. Okay, next person on our list comes. Let's see. The next series of questions comes from Venom3421. Oh, this guy. Okay. Yeah. You have two questions for me, I believe. Yes. All right. Let's see. 1. What games I'm looking forward to this year? Jeez, there's so many that's coming around that. That's just it. There's probably a lot I'd like to play. It's just a matter of, you know, being able to afford to get them. You know, what situation I'm in right now. Well, if I had a Wii U, I'd definitely try the Mario game. But other than that, I'm not so sure about some of the other titles, maybe. But I'm not in any rush to get the Wii U. I know I kept seeing a lot about the new Rayman Origins. See, the thing is about Rayman, I never really played a lot of those games, so forgive me if I'm probably not that hyped about it. It's just that, oh, hi Eddie. It's just I'm not that hyped about it like some of the other people are. Not saying it in a bad way. Absolutely, it's just that I kind of didn't really get caught up as much into the Rayman series, so I'm sure it'll be really fun. Um, Final Fantasy 15. I know that's coming for the PS4. If I had a PS4, I would be willing to give it a try. But one of the biggest things I really want to play whenever it comes about, which I'm hoping will be sometime next year, is Kingdom Hearts 3. I want to see if they finally conclude this or something. I want to see what happens next. They've done enough spin-offs, prequels, all that mess. We're done with those. We don't want to see no more of that. We want to see you count to 3. We want to see what happens next in the main story. Come on. It's been how many years since 2? I've lost count. Like 8, 9, maybe not that long. Almost 9, 10 years since 2. But yeah. Let's see. Wow. What else? Jeez, there's like so many different indie. There's like all these indie games I was seeing during the E3 conference that I would have liked to be able to try, if possible. And if they put them on Steam, I'd be willing to give it a go. If, granted, the frame rate could hold up on my computer. I know my computer isn't exactly a big, whopping gaming system, but it holds up okay for some of the basic retro stuff. But yeah, just to name a few. That's what I'm kind of looking forward to, and more, whichever comes. I'm also hoping, aside from the with the DuckTales remaster they did, and then there's that Castle Illusion Mickey Mouse game they did, which I played a demo of, and it looks really good. I'm hoping they try to take that up and maybe remaster, I don't know, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. I talked about it in the DuckTales remastered First Impressions video about what games I'd like to see remastered. So here's hoping for that as well. I would like to see that in the coming years. Anyways, moving on to question 2. Okay, to answer the first bit of the question, helping other episodes of Walking Dead. Maybe. I know I mentioned that. I know I mentioned in the last episode of episode 1 of that particular bit that if enough people liked it, I might do some more. It's just that I'd have to, since the promotion only allowed a free download for episode 1, that's all I got. I'd have to buy the rest. So if I had the money to spare, hoping sometime in the future, if I have the money to spare, I'll consider getting at least episode 2 and try that, and possibly later on down the road maybe get down with the rest. And as for the 400th day one, I'm not too clear on that. I know they did like 1 or 2 other Walking Dead games that's kind of separate to the ones to the one that I was doing for you before. But yeah, I'm not so sure on the 400th day one, but all I can say is we'll see. So yeah, that's about all I can tell you on that part. But thank you, Venom. Thank you very much for your questions. I appreciate it. Okay, next comes from Mike Haggard. Oh, wait a minute. I know who this is. Hi, Zachy boy. Your question for me is... Okay, Zach. First of all, I know how much of a big Street Fighter fanboy you are. I haven't exactly played any of the versions of Street Fighter 4, although I really should. If I ever manage to, even if at least so much as get a demo to try it, I haven't had much of a chance to play it, amongst other games that I kind of want to play it right now. And as far as Ultra Street Fighter, okay, forgive me for asking this, but how many versions, what version of Street Fighter 4 is this now? I've lost count, because I know they've made so many freaking versions of this. It's it's making my head spin a little bit. So there will be a fifth character. I guess you're referring to the some of the downloadable characters or the hidden character you can unlock or something. I guess. So supposedly he's never been in a Street Fighter game before, never. And it's not Mega Man, it's not Batsu, and it's not Ashura. They've already been deconfirmed. Okay. Well, that case being, I'm going to assume he's not much of a Street Fighter character, so that opens up to a whole bunch of different possibilities. So if I had to take a guess, I would probably say No, I was starting to think trombone, but no, that's not. That can't be right. That wouldn't fit. My guess would be one of the Resident Evil characters. I don't know why. It was just something that popped in my head. Maybe it's something to do with what happened in Ultimate Marvel Capcom 3 when they put Chris Redfield in there. So maybe Chris? They might pull that stud again, or maybe Leon. One of the two. I don't know. That's just a shot in the dark. I'd probably laugh my ass off if that was really true. But yeah, I'm trying to think of someone that would be more than likely to use fists instead of like other weapons like swords and guns. Because I know Dante from Devil May Cry mostly uses swords and guns. He barely uses fists, so I don't think he would be one for a Street Fighter game. But who knows? It could be anybody, but that was my guess. So thanks, Zach. All right. Next set of questions comes from Shadow the Oblivious. Okay. And you have just a few questions. First one is, right, the Phoenix Wright Trials After Justice fan game, the co-op play that me and Shinju had been working on for a while. Well, Shadow, to answer that, I'm afraid that's all going to depend, first of all, on when Silent Bob X, the actual creator of this fan-made case, that all depends on him as to when it will be done and ready to be played. He usually keeps me up to date on that. On when it's when things get finished and ready and everything. Who knows? I might even get a chance to test out the beta of it. Not really sure, but we'll have to see. It all depends on him. So whenever the case gets done, it's fully playable from start to finish on the next case 4. Then chances are, pretty soon you'll start seeing some more episodes of me and Shinju co-oping through that. So, yeah, that's about all I can tell you, really. Okay, next question is, can say is maybe. All I can say is maybe. I know I've done a lot of Arcade Corner episodes on those of usually good games, but I haven't done it so much as those I despise. So you might see an episode of that sometime in the future. That's all I'll say. Okay, so the third question is... Oh, so you want to know about my sweet loving fiance, Baby Lady 08? Well, as a matter of fact, I do have a little bit of something to show you guys. I have a message from her that she was more than happy to share with you. So without further ado, I turn your attention to her.
Hey guys, it's Baby Lady 08 here. Okay, so I've just been asked to do this quick video by Arclad just to clear something up. So when Arclad was asking for questions on his latest Q&A, he was asked a question by Shadow the Oblivious. Hi, don't know you, but hi. The question was relating to me and Arclad, saying that he used to mention me all the time, wondering if we were still together. Well, Shadow Oblivious, we are still together, very much so, as for the fact that in April we actually got engaged. So we are still long distance, so we are working on it. He's still in the States, I'm still in England, so we are still working on getting together and then eventually getting married and settling down. There would be a reason why I'm not mentioning his actual Let's Play videos is I'm not a gamer, so there wouldn't be any reason for him to reference me in any of his gaming videos because it's not something that interests me, so I'm not going to be any of his guests in there, unless it was anything to do with Kingdom Hearts, but that's another thing. But yeah, we wanted me to just make this video really quick to show that I am still here, I am still very much a part of his life, and I hope that answers your question. Okay, bye guys.
And there you go. That's your answer. Thank you very much for asking, Shadow Oblivious. Okay, that seems to be about all the questions I got as far as the comment section goes. So, let's turn our attention towards any private messages. Let's see. Okay. It seems we only got one person that did that, and it's from Anime Jason 2011. And his questions for the Q&A to ask are... Wow! Okay! That's a lot of questions. That's almost a whole video in itself. No, it's going to be one part. 10 questions. You certainly had a lot to ask there, Jason. But I didn't have any restricted limitations on how many, so that was my own fault on that part. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll be happy to answer them for you the best way I can. So let's start with number 1. As far as reliving the past, I'd like to think it depends on what that past consists of. If it's something drastic and horrible or something dark, I'd like to think that's just something in the past, and just to move on and look forward to the future. Because, you know, what's happened in the past is just it, the past. You can't change You can't change the past. There's nothing that can be done. Unless you somehow developed a time machine or ways to travel back in time. But even then, still, there's also risky, dangerous factors to that, because there's that little thing we like to call time paradox. You could risk that and heck, even if you could change something and maybe make something better, it could be something even worse later on. Can't really say. But the only thing I can tell you is if something bad's happened back then, but you want to make something better of yourself, just, move on and look toward the future and just make the best of things. Just look forward to that. Don't live in the past. It's never a good thing. You can't let that haunt you forever. So I hope that helps answer, that question in that regard, Jason. I mean, whatever hard times you may be going, I just hope things get better. Just like me, I'm having hard times myself, and I'm trying to hold on the best I can. So, I mean, there's a lot I have to do to try to get myself straightened out. I got a family to look forward to. I have a future wife that I'm gonna be having, and yeah, there's a lot I have to do to get sorted out. Try to live out the rest of my happy life. So I just hope things are happy. I can only hope good things come for you too, Jason. So, word of the wise. Okay, next question. Okay, I'm not entirely up to date on that particular issue. I know there's always constant copyright issues when it comes to Warner Music Group and Toei Animation and stuff like that. Warner Music Group because of actual music that people use, for music videos and such. And then, of course, there's Toei Animation with, when people trying to do, say, fan dubs or fan dub clips and such of whether it be Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, well, no, maybe not Yu-Gi-Oh. That's probably a different group altogether. But some of the other animes and such. But as far as Viacom, I haven't heard much about Viacom in quite a while. They're saying that fair use is illegal now? When did that happen? As far as I can tell, fair use is fair use, as long as it's not taken so far, I would think. But, no, I don't know about illegal. That might be something I'd have to look into a little bit and then maybe do a follow-up message to you on that. So right now, did they buy into their lies? For all we know, they did. I don't know, really. So, sorry if that wasn't quite much of the answer you was really hoping for. But, yeah. Fair use, as far as I'm concerned, has always been somewhat of a gray area when it comes to, video making and such. So, what can I say, really? Alright, next question. I was actually wondering when the topic of Sailor Moon was going to come back up, because I remember how much of a huge fan you've been and how you've been always fighting a good fight to try to get that anime series to come back and to be finished and redone and all that jazz. So apparently, that's another thing I quite haven't heard that much about. There's a reboot that's going on. Well, I would think that if they actually managed to get something like that going, I'm sure many longtime Sailor Moon fans would be, be more than happy to support this. And as far as a redub of the classic anime, anything's possible, I would say. I mean, if it gets enough attention, and if the people, and the company see how much fans are really wanting this, and how they really would like to see a coming back of this anime, because there hasn't been any more episodes of this since, oh my god, I couldn't tell you how many years, ever since they were last showing it. They were last, airing it on Toonami when Toonami was still around. Before that got taken down. But well, all I can say is here's to hoping. I mean, me personally, I don't watch. I've seen some of it, a lot of it at least once, but I've never been that big of a fan of it. So, but all the same, hey, here's to hoping. That's all I can say. Okay, next question is, honestly, for a long time now, I haven't really watched Cartoon Network hardly much anymore. The only time I might sit down and watch that channel, if I'm watching TV, period, is if Adult Swim happens to be on, like, late at night. I might watch something like Family Guy, or I might check out an anime that happens to be on that I haven't seen yet. Because, I know they got the Adult Swim thing going on constantly throughout the the weeknights and whatnot. First of all, I didn't know much about Stuart Snyder. I guess he's the CEO of Cartoon Network, and from what it's telling me, from what this question's telling me, is apparently I guess he's kind of done some really bad stuff, like killing off cartoons, like in this case Green Lantern and Young Justice. Again, those I haven't really sat down to watch, so I can't really tell you how I feel because I haven't really seen it. I'm sorry. I'm sure a lot of other kids, a lot of other fans that like the show, I'm sure they thought it sucked horribly when they finally just decided to cut it. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that if Cartoon Network has any sort of chance of getting themselves out of this hole they kind of dug themselves in, especially when it came to putting up, some of those live action shows and stuff like that. I still don't get that. It's like, movies, every once in a great while, fine. I don't have a problem with that. But constantly making up TV shows left and right, that's like, where did cartoons go? I mean, really, it's not so much of a Cartoon Network anymore like it was, those years ago when I grew up watching it, because, it was cartoons all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and all that jazz, and now all of a sudden it's just not like it used to be. I mean, sure, there's Boomerang that's got their classics on that, but, even sometimes, even the old classics eventually fade out from that channel as well, and then what do you got? Just whatever shows that people would probably think the new generation would consider comedy, when a lot of times it's really not. It's just not like it used to be. So, that's about all I can say, really. Alright, next question is, again, I can't answer that. I'm sorry. I've never seen the show, so I don't know who my favorite character would be. Maybe if I take a look at an episode, I might get back with you like I said in another question, I might get back with you at a later date on a message, and maybe I'll tell you then. Right now, I can't answer. I'm so sorry. Moving on. Next question. I would have to say the Ultima Keyblade, the Ultima Blade, or whatever hidden weapon you get. I think that's what it's called, the ultimate. I know another good one is the Lionheart, but I know that, which I used a lot, but I'd have to say the ultimate blade. They change the name sometimes in some of the games, but most of the time it's pretty much that. But yeah, I'd have to consider that as my favorite. So, next question is, as far as Final Fantasy VII goes, it's been a mixed bag for a lot of fans of the game. Some consider, Cloud a total emo. Me personally, I don't know if I would consider him quite that. I mean, he's always been a hell of a fighter. I mean, he's had a pretty hard life. He's had a pretty messed up time, especially when it came to joining up with when it came to joining with Soldier, and then running into someone like Sephiroth, and how that really screwed up his head, especially when it came to journeying through around the world in 7. He was always, experimented on by Hojo in his past, and he's got all those, those Mako cells within him and everything. So, as far as emotional journey counting as a weakness, I like to think it would shift. I think it depends on who his true friends really are. Like, biggest example being Zack, at least when he was still alive, and then of course his childhood friend Tifa. I'd like to think he might be feeling weakness as he traveled from time to time, but as for a source of strength, traveling with companions always seems to help him in. Really seems to help him in when it really came down to it. So I'd have to say a little bit of both. Just a little bit of both. Probably more strength than weakness. So, yeah. Okay, next question is, going back to Stuart Snyder again for Cartoon Network. So apparently he somehow did ruin it by taking off good shows. Okay, well, I think I've kind of answered it in the past question when it came to the cancellation of Green Lantern Young Justice. I'm sure it sucks, and some of these other shows that keep getting taken down for whatever reason. I mean, I'm sure they'll have some kind of. I'm sure he has some kind of excuse as to why. Probably something to do with financial thing, or something to do with ratings. Ratings aren't up. They always have some kind of excuse for taking it down. Most of the time, it's probably bullshit. Sure. I mean, think about Sonic Set AM. I mean, that was so many people liked having that cartoon. I mean, it was messed up already. I know supposedly the biggest reason why it got canceled was because of the fact that it was trying to combat with Power Rangers, because Power Rangers was being shown on a different station around the same time. I'm sure they could have fixed that. They could have found a way around that to where everybody could be happy with both shows. Just show them different times. But maybe there's more to it. I'm sure there was probably more to it, more complicated than that. But that's just the way I see it. Getting back to this. I just hope Cartoon Network doesn't get completely killed off. I don't want it to die. Because there's, the new generation. They need to see what... They should be allowed to see what, cartoons and shows that we grew up with and that we enjoyed so much in our childhoods. Everybody should be able to experience that. Looney Tunes, Flintstones, and you got Dexter's Laboratory. But seeing so many good shows killed off, that just ain't right, man. That's just not right at all. So I really, really hope that whatever path that the station's is on, and if it's run by that guy, I just hope, if it's bad, I just hope there's a massive change soon. I mean, really soon. I don't know what else to say about that, really. So, next question. I don't know, really. I can't really say for sure which girl I'd want to be with. But then again, if I had to choose, I don't. Me not being that big into Dead or Alive, I haven't really played enough of it. So forgive me if I can't remember everybody's names from the gaming series of Dead or Alive. I don't know if I'd want to be stuck with one of them because I've already got someone, you know, that I want to be with. If I had to be stuck with one, I'd rather be stuck with my fiance. Really, if it came down to it. So, yeah, I know that's probably not exactly the kind of question Andrew was hoping for, but yeah, that's about all I can tell you. And finally, number 10. Quite honestly, I know I've heard mixed things about Metroid Other M and how some say that the story was stupid or that Samus's character was way, way different from the way she was portrayed before and past games and stuff. As far as I know, I think Metroid Other M, I can't remember if that was something that happens in the very beginning before even Metroid Prime. I forget how it goes chronologically. But despite everything, if it's worth playing at me, I would still play it. I'd still at least give it a try. That's what I encourage people. I mean, regardless of what, you know, regardless of what some people might review it as, really the only way you're gonna know for yourself, the only way you're really gonna know if it's really worth the game to play, if it's really good or not, is if you get the game and you play it yourself. I mean, you can't always trust. You can't always, you know, completely judge it by what many other reviewers might think. Not always. Not always. There might be a couple exceptions on some other games, but that's neither here nor there. But most of the time, yeah, and I'd say at least give it a try. I mean, if I had a copy of it, yeah, I'd play it just to see for myself just to see how things go. And I believe with that, I don't think that there was anything from. Let me check something. There wasn't anything for the spring me thing. Nope. I think that's gonna wrap things up for this Q&A session, people. So thank you everybody to those that sent your questions in to me. I may have another one sometime later in the near future. So until then, peeps, I've been your host Arklad, and I'm signing out. So catch you next time.